I mean, Bloodseeker plus CK, there's a funny combination with uh, Rupture and Reality Rift. You
Yeah, I
can give
guess.
some damage that way. TNC, they go back to the IO themselves, and what are they taking? Gyrocopter. Oh my gosh. IO Gyrocopter again. I don't know what to cheer for, Mike. I mean, IO Gyro is strong. They've got the DP support and the Pango as well, with the flex on DP Pango, offlane, mid, or support roles for the DP and Pango, kind of open. But I don't know. Like, I want to take this opportunity to go on a rant about Bloodseeker, Mike, if you will allow me.
Go on.
I would love to complain about this hero. This hero has been changed in Blood Rage, right? Its Blood Rage has been changed for spell length and attack speed. We still see people go for the Maelstrom build. I don't know. I feel like if you do go possible in Bloodseeker, I want to see something brave. I want to see something new. I want someone to please show me the build with either the Ags or Radiance. Because let's face it, your Blood Rage is spell amp. You know, magical damage from Radiance or magical damage from your Blood Rages, from your Blood Mist on the Ags is pretty good. Now, your issue there is that it's 4,200 gold for an Ags on here that doesn't farm that great, or around 4,600 for the Radiance. So it's pretty bad, but I want to see that diversion because I just feel like if you go Maelstrom, we already know what's going to happen. We know your timings, we know your peaks. It's also not, it's not that amazing either, Mike.
Maybe, Jonathan, maybe what you're trying to say is just change the axe completely and make it something useful.
No. See, the Blood Mist is actually cool. 5% HP of damage dealt to yourself, which is bad, but 5% to them as well is really good against certain heroes. So I think there's actually utility there. It's not realized, Mike. We need to see that experimentation. I need to see a 4-1-1 laning build or a 3-1-1 laning build into 6 with the Ags build up down line. I want to see that experimentation because why not? It could work. It could not work.
Well, you have a Morphling now, John. Why don't you just build the axe on the Morphling? And that way you've got what you asked for.
Mike, you're a clever man. Think about that then. Morph into Bloodseeker, get the Blood Mist, pop the Blood Mist, shift back to Morphling, shift Strength so you're not losing it. Aha! You're a genius, Mike. That's not anything I've tried in my own 5-man pubs yet. I will let my friends know and they will hate me for it. But we will try that as well. I hope we see that here.
My sincerest apologies to JohnXFire's friends. Whoever they are, I haven't met them yet, but my sincerest apologies to his imaginary friends here who do play 5 stacks with him. Bloodseeker. It's such a weird hero, right? Like, you know, I guess going back to Div 1, this is a hero I would definitely call trash immediately, Jonathan. Just a very, very bad hero this Bloodseeker is.
Wait, actually, hear me out. What if this is a Bloodseeker 5 in sort of the same style as Raji used to do, right? So Grimstroke 4, Bloodseeker 5.
It was still bad.
SMG made it work, though. They made it work a couple of times, and you do have double Rupture with double Reality Rift. That's pretty cool, right? Is it?
Wow.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's I mean, that's a Pango counter. I think at the end of the day, that's really why they pick it. Just stop the Pango from rolling it all, right? So, yeah, 2 counter picks.
Good on you, John. It only took you like 3 minutes to say why the Bloodseeker was there in the first. People are probably watching right now, like, these idiot casters. These idiot casters.
We've seen this before, though. You pick 2 heroes to counter 1.
Whoa.
It just doesn't feel amazing. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Shaker. What? That's a Carlo Shaker, right? That's got to be the Carlo Shaker.
Yeah.
Like, he does love his Shakers as well. So we are seeing that means a Yoem mid DP. Not knowing the matchup. Again, there's still this flex on Apes to run Bloodseeker support. Although, they might just toss Jacroy mid. I don't think that's something the DP really handles too well. Morphling, he can kind of sustain himself by level 3. It's pretty alright. So, you could still farm. Although, you are kind of outranged by the Crypt Swarm and, to a certain extent, even that Spirit Siphon. So, the DP shouldn't be too bad off. Never mind. Alright.
Wow. Okay, so very interesting end to these drafts. We have an Earthshaker into a Wind Ranger pickup. I don't know how to feel about either of these 2 heroes that were last picked here, John. Like, Earthshaker's felt terrible as of late, and the Wind Ranger, we just haven't seen it, but I imagine it's also feeling rather terrible. I don't know. Mamang Dai is playing mid Wind Ranger this game. What do you reckon?
Hear me out, Mike. Ags build up on Morphling now seems pretty good. You turn into Wind Ranger with Wind Run.
It's the classic
Right?
TNC draft. Yes. How could I forget? And then you get spider legs as well on top of that, just for fun, you know? Just to be able to make sure terrain doesn't get in your way when you're wind running. Fair enough, Jonathan. Very good point.
Could look good. The mid lane matchup, it's going to be against Yoe mid Pango. So that draws a little bit more even. It is an off lane Bach DP. They do flex out at the end. I think Pango versus Wind Ranger actually goes either way. I'd actually favor Pangolier a bit more. I don't think the Wind Ranger has the greatest laning presence with just power shot and wind run. So Yoe should still have a good time. I worry about how much Mamangdai can get out of that lane. You also have that UK Bloodseeker, so it is a support Bloodseeker coming through. Laning combinations don't feel great for Bloodseeker plus Morphling. I would actually prefer a CK Bloodseeker just because you've stun set up for Bloodright if you want to be aggressive, but we'll see if that shakeup is there. Overall, the draft feels oddly even. I'd say maybe TNC has a much more stable draft, but you are dealing with Morphling and you've got the Shaker on your side, so Morphling can just turn into Shaker without buying Ags to get some free damage and fissures. That's actually to the benefit of Jacroy here as well.
See how it goes. Game number 3. TNC again, desperate for the win, but so are the Apes Esport, trying to keep themselves in Division 2 for next tour. We'll get into game number 3 right now.
Prepare for battle.
Did I ask you who had the better draft? I mean, I realize you're quite confused about what these drafts are going to be doing, but who do you think actually came out with the better draft?
Brother.
You know, that's really hard to call. I think this is really even. It's UK always speaking in Filipino now. I know. It's like, what? All right, UK. Keep showing off. Bach replying Noah. All right.
What's Noah?
Noah. It's just ano, just spread out. So if you type Noah again, it's ano. Noah. I know it's something we do in the Philippines. Don't ask me. We're weird people, Mike. I can't explain the cultural phenomena in the Philippines. But back to that drafting question. I don't know because I could see either side winning this based on draft. There's some conditions for TNC to meet. There's some conditions here for the Apes to meet.
Easy breezy.
I'd give a slight edge towards the Apes, but I don't think it's a big drafting advantage. It's all down to execution, and you know, Mike, for both of these teams, that's been the big issue this series. Just kind of finding and understanding when they've got the openings and when to jump in. So it's all down to who comes out as a better team this time around.
Well, they're going to head down bot here at the Apes. They're just going to go for the bounty, I think. I mean, Young God is kind of open to go after if you did want to go that far down south, but they aren't going to do that. Meantime, Jacroy, not going to mess around here with TNC either. So it should be an even 2-for-2 trade. And while we're around, we'll start with the top lane, where you are going to see Bok and Febby on the DP IO combo in the off lane. They'll be up against Jacroy on that POS 1 Morphling. And of course, he'll be supported by UK on the POS 5 Bloodseeker. It does feel like the IO DP lane is quite annoying to have to go up against. Even for this Bloodseeker, like, you can spam Bloodright all you want, but they just turn with Spirit Siphons and you're kind of just screwed.
Yeah, you don't really have a stun set for that. That's why I would have preferred a CK Bloodseeker lane. You know, shifting things around. Go with a Morphling and a Grimstroke. Tip out. Bit of a back and forth there, as Febby does leave the lane. But yeah, it's like UK, not much you can really do with a Morphling. Maybe if you get the value point and Adaptive Strike, you could try.
Febby, he TP's down bot and he just dies immediately. And all the tips come out for Febby. That was the weirdest start to an IO I've seen. Like, and now he's gonna pop a smoke and run back to the run back to the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he was sticking top either. I thought they'd go for like a DP IO lane, which is a lot of healing. So, you know, you can kind of hold that lane really nice and just play forward. You shift gears. I mean, you still want the IO Gyro for sure, but you are missing out on a lot. And Young God is kind of held back from his creep wave, not finding too much farm. So, strong start for the Apes. Again, Mike, we talked about it. It's all down to execution. You don't want to execute your lanes like this early on here.
No, certainly not. Bot lane, they might move in again. Stuns were out on Young God with the Inkswell combination. It's just so powerful. You're not going to be able to get the kill, but certainly kind of goes to show TNC exactly what they're in for down in this bot lane. And had that been Febby that they caught, it probably would have just been a kill.
Yeah, another freebie on the IO, making waste of smoke. He would have TP up to get back into the lane, but you are still cutting off again the Gyro. It's just not having a good time. 1-2. This is an abysmal start for Young God, and he's going to have to find a way to recover. Very defensive lane for them here on the IO Gyro as well. You can't expect them to lay back on the aggression. Just focus in on the farm. But every single time the Apes, as they get levels up, that combination just gets scarier and scarier, Mike.
How's the mid lane going? You've got Mamang Daya there on that Wind Ranger that I'm very unsure about personally. It's not a hero we get to see Mamang Daya play very often. And naturally, the hero that we know him for best is the Kunkka. Wind Ranger, again, I can't remember the last time I saw it from this man. It does seem like Yoe already is having a very nice time in this mid lane as the Pango. What are you thinking, John? What timings are we looking out for Mamang Daya here?
Wind Ranger's a strange one. She doesn't really enjoy the null changes as well. You could still go Javelin. I think that's the big one to wait for. Either that or Phase Boots. There is room for an Orb of Corrosion as well, but you're going to need support backup. You're not going to get the laning advantage here at all. As mentioned, Pangolier has a really good time in this lane. Swash, Shield Crash takes away a lot of damage. From Mamang Daya, Wind Run doesn't really save you here. So it's really not much you can do to repair it. Just kind of hold your own, find your farm, get your null, get your Javelin, and maybe by then you can start to join your team in bursting down some softer targets.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see an early rotation already from Carlo into the mid lane. Can land a nice Fisher to block Mamang Daya in. It could amount to a kill. In the meantime, Bebe's going to drop, and Young God not too safe either. He's going to be able to run, and now the mid lane. There's your Fisher block out onto Mamang Daya. Carlo's going to try and follow up, but he is still only level 2, so he doesn't have a follow-up stun to really throw out.
Where's yours?
A few warning shots at Mamang Daya, but that's about it.
That should also allow them to maybe contest these water runes a little bit more. UK does show up, so it's not going to be an easy process. They do have the value point in the shackle as well. If Mamang Daya lands it, they could chain up with a blood right, but nah, UK and Carlo will just trade. That does mean Yoe has no refill. So a pretty nice win for Mamang Daya. That's one way to stabilize lane. Just win out from runes, and eventually Yoe runs out of mana. Can't really spam his spells.
The lol. Oh, they threw everything on him and he just took no damage. He was just like, yeah, it's all good. I've got creeps to hit. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. I do love that voice line as well from the Apes. The what can you do, brother? Very, very intimidating indeed. As Young God now, we chase down, but you can see the fear in TNC down at the spot lane. They know they're just not safe. In particular, again, Febi's the one that really has to be careful on the IO. Stalol gonna try and break the gap now. Rift is gonna be there, but the stun is not going to come out, so instead they'll have to try and focus down the gyrocopter. But Young God, he can turn on to the Grimstroke as OIM. No, never mind. He cannot. They get the Inkswell off, so Young God is forced to back out of there. And instead, OIM will be able to survive. Looks like Young God, he'll be healed up by Febi.
Using more resources from both sides, popping a couple of salves. This is the lane with the most aggression. You can see both safe laners not having the best of times. Gyrocopter lagging behind, so is Jacroy up top. The off laners are having time for their lives, and it does feel like this early start for both the Lul and Bach will really dictate that pace. It feels like the DP having 6 faster is the scarier one, because that will lead to a push, and the side of the Apes should be ready to counteract that. Bach's been getting a lot from his solo lane, and he's already at the point where he's got the Urin. So if a little bit more up in levels, you could see that commitment for a tower push soon from TNC.
Well, you absolutely could. And Bach still trading very nicely here with Jacroy. Morphling not having quite as good of a game as it had last game in terms of laning.
Yes.
So Yoe dominating the mid lane. The Mamang Daya again, props to him, is keeping up. In fact, now top of the CS board himself. Carlo's going to try and protect the regen rune with the Fisher block out. That'll allow Yoe to go ahead and bottle that one up. Will surely come in handy later on for the Pango. Very quiet game though. I mean, only 2 kills, both being on Febi, both during the laning stage. We've seen UK and Carlo both rotate many, many times, but they're unable to really find a nice angle to lock somebody down.
Oh my God.
I think it's just the nature of these drafts. They do need some build-up. They're not the most aggressive in lane, outside of the Apes with the CK and the Grimstroke. Beyond that, you're not really looking to move around too much, especially for TNC. You're waiting for a blink on Carlo down the line if you can farm it. You're waiting for relocate in Febi. You do have X already on Bach, but they aren't playing behind that. I think that's where TNC could start to clump up or drag Bach away from that lane, maybe focus mid, take an objective fast, shrink the map down a little bit more, make it tougher for Jacroy to find farm. As it stands, I mean, yeah, safe laners are struggling. Jacroy is having a slightly better time, although your Gyrocopter should be able to catch up. It's not like you have massive stacks built up in the jungle either. You have a couple of double stacks, but not much beyond that.
UK going to be caught here by Yoe, who has rotated top side as he does get the stun off, but only lands at once. So UK is going to go for a run, but Yoe, with the swashbuckle, will be able to get the job done eventually. In the meantime, Bok already popping the exorcism. Get some damage off onto the bottom tier, or rather top tier 1 tower. Looks like he's not really going to be able to get as much as you would have hoped, though. The exorcism should eventually wear out, and there is going to be a bit of defense here from LYM to ensure he can't go all the way. In fact, more TP's coming in. Bok needs to back off as Mamang Daya going to go for a chase, but no brown boots available on the Wind Ranger. So not very fast on this hero right now.
I think that's fine. You're playing around with your Wind Run. You want that quicker Javelin up for some damage output. Does have level 6. And you know, there's a Focus Fire ready to go. So you do have pretty decent damage once you focus on someone. I don't think the DP is going to be the easiest shot, especially if you do get the Spirit Siphon off. But it's kind of understandable playing Wind Ranger. And Brown Boots will come out now. So I believe Mamang Daya has heard your complaints about Endure Might, and they will find it.
Jacroy
appeals my movements were more
got vision, and looks like Yoe just takes him down. Yoe, he gets the tips over. I believe it would have been a very nice swashbuckle to land, and well, they got the Morphling.
Yeah, that's big. You're holding back the core-to-core matchup, and Gyro does farm faster. Bok being run down here.
Yeah, they've got the Javelin up on Mamang Daya, but Bok, he'll go for the Siphons out onto 3 heroes. Still, the damage is flying in from the Wind Ranger. He hasn't got enough, though. Oh, Bok has survived. Febby, he makes it just in time as Mamang Daya. Oh, you hate to see it. That's not good, John.
Yeah, backing off right there from Mamang Daya. Literally one last step away. He had that opportunity. He did not let off the shot, and Bok gets to go. Like, they reset. They get to focus on top now. They find a good kill on the Wind Ranger. Top tower's not going to last, and Yoe could find an angle here for LYM if he wanted to. Out of mana, though, so I'm going to have to hold back in the aggression. But this is also some much-needed space for Young God. He's got a free lane bot. You're giving some EXP away to Carlo mid. Saving up really nicely for that blink. It is going to be a naked blink rush. Just Brown Boots blink for a Shaker. But if you can play this way, why not? You'll have that great initiation for TNC, and no one's stopping Carlo. He is going to have that point. 1.5k in. Not too much left for that blink here, Mike.
Absolutely not. Going to be very nice timing here for Carlo on that Earthshaker. And meanwhile, Apes, it looks like they're just trying to set up for the bottom tier 1 tower, but it's still really just untouched. They are lacking a creep wave, and it looks like Young God was around with the cooldown to just delay the creep wave coming in. Now he will leave though, so Jacroy should have his moment with this bottom tier 1, but it seems like TNC, in the meantime, might be able to pressure the mid tier 1 tower instead. That is automatically going to force rotations out from the Apes and make sure they can defend as the Fisher is there from Carlo. Mamang Daya, he'll go for a run with the Wind Run. He's going to be able to make it, but Bok, pretty much right as the Exorcism is off cooldown, will pop it once again. And it's into the mid-tier 1 tower now with the Siege Creep.
Great coordination out from TNC. Playing around her timing's a lot better in this game. They've even got the roll ready on Yoe if they find the angle here. Apes, they don't have much team fight. This is where their lineup just doesn't shine. They have no clear way of jumping in and finding an angle.
Here we go. Fisher is going to land onto UK's the Rolling Thunder now from Yoe. Going to chase him down. UK, he doesn't even have Rupture up yet. I mean, he's level 4 on this Bloodseeker. It's just so sad.
It's one of those things where the voice line comes in. What can you do, brother? Yeah, you don't do much in lane. That's one thing with the Bloodseeker. You didn't have a combination with the CK. You don't contribute much to Morphling. You don't have a combination with Blood Rage that really works out here, so you're forced to go for the Blood Right Thirst build, which, again, on support Bloodseeker, Thirst is kind of meaningless. So you're really not having as much impact, and this is where it goes back to where you pick 2 counters of Pangolier just for that one hero, and it doesn't feel like you're getting your investment back. Maybe when Rupture's up, it's a different story for UK. Until that point, he doesn't do much in this game at all.
It certainly doesn't. It's a very, very tough game already for UK, as I believe he just ate the tomb, so he's close to level 6 now. Just needs that Rupture up so he can do something before he dies. Carlo, on the other hand, just about 50 gold away from the blink being up, and this is what an effective support's about to look like as Carlo have the blink on the way now. Echo Slam available. Always very effective when you are up against a hero like CK as well, who wants to abuse the Phantasm illusions. Speaking of, they're going to run into Bok now. Bok, he's a very challenging target to take out, however. They aren't even going to bother. In fact, relocate is there from Young God and Bebby into LYM. He's not even going to finish off the TP. He'll try to run. Bebby will hand the tips over to LYM.
Yeah, gotta lay it back. Nice smooth kills for TNC. Not the biggest ones, but they are still in position. Blink still up for Carlo. Roy?
Oh, Echo Slam 10-minute by Carlo, but the Strength Morph was there. They have plenty of control. Jikroy gonna turn now onto Yoe. A nice Fisher block, but it's not gonna mean enough as Yoe has been caught by Delol. And Febby, for some reason, is getting tipped by OIM.
Yeah, you gotta let Febby know, even though he wasn't involved in that at all. A bit keen coming out from TNC. Really good attempt with the Blink Echo on Carlo. Just a lot quicker reflexes on Jikroy. They managed to turn that, find a big kill. You are seeing that value in the morphling here, Mike. Lots of good heroes to morph to on the opposite side. Pango, Shaker, Gyrocopter, probably the big one. And Jikroy's going to be able to have a lot of impact once he does get the items to get that done. Still a lot more left for the Apes to farm up though, TNC. Already starting to approach that early spike again. The blink up on Carlo does provide a lot. Yoe going for his defusal now. Oh.
Daya gonna try and take care of Febby on his own and will do so, but now Young God gonna try and return the favor with the homing missile. It's gonna land. Oh, that's not gonna feel very worth. Febby giving the tips back over to OIM. These poor past fives, they haven't done anything. They're not doing anything and they're getting tipped.
Yep. they just like tipping each other, you know. It is how it is. They're all Southeast Asia. We're all pretty good friends. We play with each other in our pubs. Or I say we, I mean they play in their pubs with each other. Mike, I don't play in their pubs, but that friendly nature is there. You gotta let the bants out, and the Apes love their banter. They are clumping up against UK here.
Yeah, UK gonna probably be regretting the Bluntseeker pick right now. Is gonna die another time. It's just, what do you do with this hero? Like, he's literally a walking rupture and that's it.
Pretty much. Like, all he's there for is to rupture the Pango. That's why he exists. That is his only reason for existing, Mike. It's not the best, but it is what it is, as they do pop the Exo here for the Roshan. Having that Bloodseeker down, knowing that they've got control of this area of the map, even without the tier 2s taken, they've got good wards to watch at top jungle. They're going to be able to clear this fast. Doesn't take too long with the Exo running. Going to be an extra life coming out here for TNC. And the Apes are too far to really contest. They don't have vision. They do get a scan, but they can't make it in time.
Yeah, even if they did, I don't think they can take the fight. It's just way too challenging to fight into this right now. TNC hitting their spikes, want to keep moving. With that Aegis up on Young God, they'll move towards the top side of the map. Start farming that Dire jungle. Well, the Apes, all they can do is keep that farm going on Jikroy. Keep in mind though, John, he's only barely just getting the Lincoln Sphere up, so it's still a very defensive situation here from this Morphling. Nothing to really get aggressive with right now. That just means TNT can keep going. And that they will. Towards the top tier 2 tower they go.
Yep. Just keep the push going. No Exo, but they do have a lot of damage coming out from Young God. They can just throw their bodies forward for that push. On the side of the Apes, they need to find a way of defending. They can't afford to lose out in tier 2s. That will open up the jungle way too much. And there's also the mech up on Febby, so even more burst healing to come through with a tether. Harder to burst down these heroes. The Apes not keen on the defense though. Looking like they're holding bot, but TPs are flying out top now. The lull at least shows up.
I think they have to defend. I mean, that tier 2 top tower, it's a bit too early to go down, so they do move in, but the problem is Febby is going to be there to protect along with Carlo, and now Young God, he might just return the favor with the homing missile. And the call down, but none of it's going to land fast enough. CK will be able to survive, so instead it's into the mid lane where they've seen Jikroy by himself. But can they hold him down? Jikroy, he's going to try and swash away, but it may not be good enough as the Rolling Thunder is going to land. He doesn't have enough mana now for the waveform either. Jikroy's been caught. He's going to go down. Mamak Daya at least finding Febby, but it may have cost his own life as he's still trying to get up, but Young God is able to pick up a double kill. As look at that, John. They've even got UK now. He'll try to juke out of the tree line. Instead, they'll make the jump in onto 2 in the backside. They're going to find the CK. And OIM, the Delol, he's going to try and fight back, but he's already lost his Grimstroke. And he may lose his own life now as they have the Swashbuckle. A nice stun. It's actually going to be enough.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's enough for them to retreat. They do manage to back off, but they lose a lot. They only find Shaker in the end. They get punished. They lose their Morphling. The build-up on Jacroy this game is just not fast enough. He is going for SNY into the Ag, so he is looking for the combinations here. And maybe looking to turn into the Shaker, probably the best one, or the Gyrocopter again. A really big one with Flak. But we're a long way until that point's up. And TNC is just playing around each other really well. They are executing as a team. They're playing together much better. We're seeing some good relocates coming out from Febby. And now they can focus into the top tier too. They've got Exo ready here on Bach. They could look for the rundown. And knowing that the Apes, again, they're struggling in these wider team fights. Because where's the control coming from? They just don't have wide AoE control. They have counter picks for the Pango. They have no good ways of kind of forcing these 5v5s their way.
T2 top tower again. Under siege, though, a nice shackles from among Dire, but there's going to be zero follow-up to it. Young God, he'll just keep going. A slow process without the exorcism. Bok is just holding out for now, eventually realizing they need it. He will go ahead and pop it. The Apes, do they defend? Well, not quite. They found Jacroy down a bot lane. The relocate's going to be there. TNC just setting up all across the map. And now top lane, they might just relocate both back. Because the Apes, they're not ready to try and fight into this. Bok's just protecting the location.
They are still clumped up here from the Apes, but without the Morphling, their output just shrinks down. No slam on Carlo, but all he needs is good Fisher to really break up this fight.
Delol's going to move in. Young God already quite low. Still having the Aegis up, though, for another minute. May actually just want the reset very soon. So he does decide better of it in the end. Just backs off. That'll make it an 11-6 with a 4k net worth advantage here for TNC Predator. Looks like the Apes still have quite a bit of work to do before they can actually start fighting. And Jacroy is just trying to work towards that BKB right now, that morph, and I guess at that point he could try to get involved, but before that, you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I get the switch out from the SNY into the Ags. You need to be able to stand in front of these engagements, but that does mean you're going to lack a little bit of that durability up front without the SNY, a little bit more of that damage and right clicks. And of course, you're not rushing into the Ags anymore.
UK going to be caught. They'll make the jump in though with the stun out from the low. Carlo is going to get deleted. Nice little pickup now from the Apes. Problem is, they still lose their top tier 2. And that's going to mean the outpost is set to be taken. And then next Roshan should be available for TNC, you know, in a bit of time, but they are going to be ready for it.
Yeah, they're in a good position for it. Gotta wait a little bit more, 3 minutes until we see that respawn. The DD has spawned early though, Mike. So we'll see if it spawns again later when Roche is up. But Yo is going to pick that up. Almost at his blink now on the Pangolier. So it's going to be easier to land a really good Rolling Thunder, disrupt the backline. The double diffusal on our Jara and Pango has done so much work to just prevent this from being a smooth game for Jacroy. Like, he can't just stand there and fight. He has no mana for the Strength Morph. It feels really bad for the Morphling not able to juggle his HP around. And that's really just heads up from TNC to go for this kind of build-up. Young God going for his Ag soon. Not going to take too long for that to be up. A bit of a clump up here from TNC. They do smoke under a ward. Very sneaky ward from the Apes. They should be well prepared for this movement. And we'll see if TNC still finds something or if Apes kind of responds on their own. They do go for a smoke themselves.
They're going to try and capitalize wherever they can, and right now the Apes have the information to give themselves that advantageous position. And TNC hoping somebody shows down a bot lane, but nobody going to show up. The Apes even, it doesn't seem like they're going to try and force a fight. They're kind of just relocating to the other side of the jungle here on the Dire side. TNC going to find nothing for their trouble. Essentially both smokes just were to relocate. That's all they really did, just move homes.
Yeah, just shifting gears. You know, Mike, if you wanted to relocate, why not use the IO relocate?
Oh, shut up.
You didn't need a smoke, right? Right. Hey. You know, it's slow going. I gotta find something. As they will go for a push out, 11-7. 3k lead for TNC. It's shaping up well. But again, it's a back and forth slower pace. Apes do TP in this time.
They want Debbie first. Shackle, not going to be on the mark. Young God, not going to be locked down too long. Delol, he's trying to get through, but LYM's blocking the path. And now the call down. It's going to give vision on LYM. The poor Grimstroke has nowhere to go but down. Young God will happily take the kill for himself. And now they can look towards that tier 2 bottom tower. I mean, why not?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yep, we've got Exo up. Really ballsy move from Yoa, not quite finding Mamang Daya. You have the BKB up here on the Wind Ranger, and just need to find an angle for the CK, but oh.
Nice shackles, just
No
no
follow-up.
follow-up.
Dire's bottom tower is
Zero
under
follow-up.
attack.
Is that how you feel in your Wind Ranger games, John? Just hitting shackles over and over again and just your team just lets you down?
Dire's bottom tower
It's a good deny, I don't do
denied.
that, but yeah, sometimes. Although, to be fair, when I shackle, I tend to run forward like an idiot, so my team has to go. Which might be the way, you know, you can't play safe with Wind Ranger, you gotta be all in. Like, you're playing poker, it's your last hand, you're all out of money, just go all in. Bluff your way to victory, right? That's the way to go with Wind Ranger, because she's kind of bad.
Yeah.
She's a very bad hero.
No kidding. No kidding, John. TNC, still waiting. Speaking of that bad hero, Mamang Daya might cop the Echo Slam from Carlo. Is it enough? It certainly is. Easy peasy.
Blow up the mid, remove that really annoying hero with a good control on the shackles. Again, it's very reliant on landing a double hero shackle, which is easier said than done. And that is a bit of an opening for TNC. They're not quite shoving mid, but they are going top.
Dire's middle tower
I mean, Axe is
under
up now on the Gyrocopter. They're gonna. Oh, Jacroy. There's your relocate out once again. We're gonna find Jacroy now, as they are gonna have to TP back towards the bot lane. So the Apes gonna try and punish this Gyrocopter IO combination. Young God still has the BKB up, but he does get stunned up. It won't matter though, because Febby's gonna be right around the corner. Always be around to just keep him healed up anyway. So no BKB forced out. The Apes, they're going to run towards the left of the map now, maybe finding somebody else, and they might just run into Yoe. They do get the rift off, into the stun. Carlo may have saved the day, but not quite. He does end up dropping anyway, as now the Shackle's going to hold down the Death Prophet. Maybe they can find Bok, but the Cyphers and the TP away are going to be there. Bok, he's still going to get locked down though,
no.
eventually dying. They could not save us. Spabby's going to get the tips again. What has he done, John?
Oh, he tethered up, and that gave the Inkswell leash and broke the TP. Bok was out of there. His TP was channeling. There was nothing to cancel it. And Febby felt... I mean, I get it. You know, he wanted to save his friend. He figured the tether healing might have to come true, but it just killed both of them instead. So, yeah, good tips out from the Apes.
Oh, UK. We've seen this one before. Not my UK. Oh, a great hero Bloodseeker is, huh?
Yep, what a hero. Great support, doesn't it? It does everything, Mike. It drops Blood Riot, it Blood Rages no magic users in this lineup, it ruptures the Pangolier, uses Veil, and then dies. It's such a high value pick. I still wonder how Raji makes it work, actually. Every time he plays it, it looks decent,
Radiant are
which is
scanning.
high praise for a Bloodseeker at this point. Good scan out from TNC, spots him low ground. Not going to be able to chase down the Apes. Roshan is up though, Mike, and Yoe has checked it out. His team could just swing around there. They have good wards on jungle. They've got the outpost control. So they could just jump in, take this wall. Apes are pretty blind to that spot still.
Shards is up as well. I'm sure the young God Gyrocopter would enjoy the Shards up. Having that rocket barrage with the homing missile is always a bit of fun. There is going to be a 5-man smoke here though. Apes, they're going to try and interfere this time around, and I think they just need to. They are going to move in. Roshan already half its HP gone. Delol, he's going to see Febby in the IO. It's a great target to try and focus down, and they've got him. Call down, however, going to be back the way of the CK, but can they actually delete him? Delol is still running, still alive with the Echo Slam. Carlo, he'll get it done. In the meantime, Jacroy already finding Yoe on the Pangolier, as they could not get the Thunder off. They're even going to find Carlo on the Earthshaker. So the Apes, a successful counter-initiation to the Roshan pit. And now maybe they could commit for Roshan themselves.
They've got a bit of an opportunity, a really big opening for the Apes, and they will get started. They do have, well, Focus Fire is still on cooldown, but they've got the damage coming out for Jacroy. Might be a risky spot, but you don't have the big playmakers on TNC. They get to sneak this one out. AJ's gonna be their way, free shard as well, and the Apes stay in the game. Like the shard goes the way of Jacroy for now, and that does give him a little bit more of the adaptive strike. Our Morphling is getting a little bit bigger. You still need a lot more on itemization. You want to finish that Scotty up, you want to finish the Ags, and then you feel really good. And it gets to that point where you start to wonder whether the Gyrocopter is going to be enough. Again, you're a Gyrocopter against Morphling. If the Morphling just turns into you, he's a better hero than you are because of his stats. So, could be a bit tricky for Young God despite the backing of Febby. Febby as well has to watch his position here, Mike. Every single time he missteps, it's an opening for the Apes. A lot of that regen is gone, a lot of the sustain is gone, and the Gyrocopter almost becomes a non-factor when it comes down to it.
Group up mid lane. Now tier 1 mid tower has still been standing here, so the Ape's going to try and take it down, but the Morphling going to get stunned up into the silence, but they aren't going to commit. They do at least get a BKB usage out of Jacroy. That might actually help them protect that tier 1 mid tower a bit longer. The Apes will leave it be, and TNC, they will not deny it off. In fact, considering the group up, they might go for a smoke here.
Really good position for it. They would be smoking into Aegis. They could just force the play, knowing the BKB is down, but they are just staying clumped up instead. Walking under some wards. The Apes are aware of this movement. They should be able to position themselves nicely here as well, taking the high ground on their own jungle, but they're also under wards. So, good vision game from both sides, just spotting each other out. As it does feel like we'll kind of stabilize this game. BKB up for the lull does give our CK much more forward presence. So this is where holding down the CK becomes a massive issue. You don't have enough burst damage on your gyro to stop the CK from jumping in with a blink BKB. I think the Apes have done well to hold up against Storm of TNC. Like, they still have their tier 2 mid. High ground hasn't been siege. They have to get a lot of work done on the lanes though. Tier 1 still stand on mid and top, but once they get that started, they could start onto the tier 2s. They could start threatening high ground. It's starting to look like this could swing either way again.
It certainly could. I mean, it's a very back and forth game. You see the swing on the net worth graph there, just not looking very good for TNT whatsoever. The Morphling getting to that point where you start to become a powerhouse, especially once the Eye of Skadi is available. Jacroy very close to it already. TNC focus on just keeping those side lanes pushed down for now. They're even going to find Young God's Courier, and that was part of the Satanic being taken away for the next 3 minutes. And while they have a chance, Jacroy, he does get the top tier 1 tower. It's a bit of a slow process with these objectives, but they are getting there now. TNC, I mean, they're the ones that need to have a game plan, because we've seen this one before. Yoe and Carlo just going to keep holding their ground. Jacroy, this could be dangerous. Carlo gonna run right into him, but won't bother even throwing out a stun. A little bit too dangerous against the Morphling right now. In fact, Jacroy gonna keep trying to chase for more, wanting to get that Aegis used up, but is not gonna find the opportunity.
So far, the Apes have only really managed to just get a lot of farm out for the Aegis. They found a couple of tier 1 towers, which is great. Haven't made progress on tier 2s. So it still feels really playable for TNC. They're not lagging too far behind. They're getting good build up on Young God. He's still above every single core by a good margin. He's going to have his Satanic when the Courier's back up. He's working towards his MKB next to deal with Wind Ranger, relocate out. They're just going for that push, constantly shoving, forcing a response. There is a smoke from the Apes though, collapsing onto the mid, but we got to watch their high ground. This Young God's just going to do this now.
No, there is going to be the relocate back though, so not enough time to actually get any damage off. Still the smoke going. Apes want to try and move in. They might just find Bok here on the Death Prophet. He'll be there to break the smoke. Mamang Daya, not quite seeing him yet, but there's your Shackle out. Problem is, it doesn't land on anything. He gets nothing out of it. But the Apes, they might just keep going for the mid-tier 2 tower. Even if they can't find a target, they could just keep trying to chip away at that objective. I'm going to back off for now and just play it safe.
TNC, they've got their smoke up, but they're on the wrong side to kind of force a fight. They are taking the high ground. Ape's not keen on walking out anymore. Age is going to expire in 10. So, again, just a bit of a stall out. Kind of the same pattern we've seen from all 3 games, really. We get some early aggression. The game stalls out towards the late game. Both sides just want to build up, and they just kind of look for openings. TNC in a good position to kind of circle around, but so is Apes hiding in that tree line here.
TNC hold that die high ground on the jungle. Plenty of time for the Roshan, so you're not really looking for that quite yet. You see, they'll just take the outpost instead. I think the side of Apes, they're going to do the exact same thing. Just run across, try to get the other outpost. Pretty standard stuff. In fact, they may just completely forget about it, and they do. The outpost just gets left for both the Radiant side. Fair enough. So sure, TNC will be very happy with that. And it's just a very kind of stalemate kind of game. Neither side really wants to make the jump in.
Yeah, I think they both understand. There are openings for both sides in this game. It's very, very close in terms of what each lineup can do. So they don't want to give that opening to the other side. And they just want to keep farming. I do have my concerns. Again, this Morphling is getting really big. Jacroy is working towards his Ags. And that's where it feels like it becomes really hard to manage that morph. He can turn into Shaker for some huge burst. He can turn into Gyrocopter to just be a better core. And it becomes tough for TNC to kind of handle that. So we'll have to see how much they can get done on the Apes and on TNC. But yeah, same pattern. We saw this in game 2. We saw this in game 1 where you reach this point in the game where neither side is willing to commit. And it just stalls out into a farm game. And you guys kind of have to wait. It's a game of patience. They're not comfy yet, Mike. I am interested in what Yo is building. He is going for the Yules and then Basher, so he's going to have the Blink roll, Yules up to get some chain stuns, Bash on the Swash. I think the Swash Bash is a little bit more important than the Yules roll, but that is still down the line. We'll see how long it takes for Yoe. That could be the way to break this game open for TNC a little bit easier.
I mean, John, to make matters worse, though, for TNC, Jacroy's going for the Ags. You've got Gyrocopter, you've got Earthshaker. You just take your pick. You've got DP. There's a lot of heroes that are quite valuable here for this Morphling to morph into this game with an Ags up. What's your pick? Would you rather the Gyro? Would you rather the Shaker? What do you want, John?
With this build, I'd say Gyro. You don't have that big bursty Daedalus to kind of have some lucky crits on the enchant, so might as well just go Gyro. Have Flak with your own Scotty up. You feel really good. And again, it just becomes a matter of RTNC taking a bit too slow. They're going late game against some Morphling. They're scaling on DP, doesn't stay up that long. Hangolier can scale pretty well, but it takes way more farm than what Yoa currently has. They will go for another smoke play here on TNC. They do draw the right lines onto the bot jungle. Gotta see if they find someone.
Well, they're gonna find Delol immediately, who does break the smoke on Carlo and just blinks right out. Still, homing missile is there with the inhibit from Young God as they are going to try and move in. Delol currently by himself, but there's your double rupture out now from LYM, and of course UK is the Fisher. Is going to block in LYM, so they do at least find one, but now they're grouped up. Jacroy going to try and jump in with the BKB, just trying to TP out, and he will make it. It really only ends up being a 1-for-1 as Febby and LYM both end up dropping, but that's about all you got out of that team fight.
Only finding support's not the biggest deal for either side. I'd say this is much worse for TNC. Not having the IO means your Gyrocopter feels a lot more exposed. No saves to play around here. Roche, fairly quick timer though, 20 seconds away. So that could be an opportunity for either side to force that objective, and that should open up some bigger fights onto the high ground. TNC trying to regain control on that top jungle. There are some wards here from the Apes. They are in a good position to jump.
The move in, the Death Prophet has been caught out, but he's going to turn right back around here with the Gyrocopter. Still, here comes the Mongdaya. A very nice Shackles out. That'll take care of one as the Rift is back out onto Young God, who's kind of just getting kited around here in this Gyrocopter. The CK Reality Rift is just so annoying to have to try and deal with as the Gyro, and well, it's gotten to the stage now where Mongdaya has the Daedalus up now. So fun times ahead.
Yeah, even more damage coming through for the Wind Ranger. Just BKB, Maelstrom, Daedalus, getting the job done. Let's see if they still find angles here.
Well, they're gonna find UK. Rolling Thunder committed for that. It's a whatever kill right now. Not too big of a deal. More importantly, Jacroy has the Ags up now, so fun times ahead.
You know what I'd really like to see though, Mike? Turn into Bloodseeker. Let me see that Blood Mist. I want to see it. I want to see how terrible it is. It is pretty bad for Morphling, I'm not gonna lie. But it is pretty exciting too, Mike, isn't it?
Not really, John. It's a pretty bad ability.
it's cool. It's cool. 5% HP, which
To yourself.
I guess it's nice. To yourself and to the enemy. So, you know, everyone, your existence is pain for everyone. Just like my birth was. Excuse me there, Mike.
Roshan under siege now. Sorry to hear that, John. I love you. If nobody else told you that. Young God. Oh, thank you, John. Young God gonna go after that Roshan. Whilst he'll pop the exorcism now. This is a very important Roshan for this game, number 3. Refresher Shan is up and available. Do they want to go for the steal? The Apes taking their sweet, sweet time with this, so they are not going to jump in. Too much hesitation from the Apes, it seems, but they are going to go for an immediate 5-man smoke-up. It doesn't seem like they really want to force a fight, though. Maybe just trying to move themselves across the map. They are hanging around mid lane. The jump will just never come, though. Maybe once Exorcism is gone, maybe it'll be about that time to try and move in. Jacroy, right by Young God, is going to move in now with Delol trying to focus down that IO, and they've got Bebby down. No buyback available. A great Shackles on the backside as well. Carlos dead to boot. Onto the DP they go. Bok dropping low, but not low enough yet. He'll survive, but Jacroy just jumping around with the Earthshaker form. They just can't get away from it. Young God forced the BKB TP out, but they've left Bok behind. There's the answer to the question, John. Earthshaker morph, it just never gets old.
It really does never get old, and it's kind of funny to see that used against TNC. Of course, this is a different lineup, but this was a TNC classic in around 2019, 3 years ago. Still going strong, Mike. And to great effect for Jacroy. You can't fault him, he is going for the Daedalus now, so those fat hits with the enchant are going to be coming out. And yeah, it's a matter of, can TNC hold up against that? It all relies on Febby's positioning, and so far the answer has been no. They haven't been able to get themselves in the right spot. There's so many angles for the Apes to go in. Their team fight is starting to shape up a lot better, and now the high ground's open.
Young God gonna be very cautious here against the morph. 2 lanes being pushed in at the same time makes it very hard to defend. The Apes, that's going to be enough. They got a tier 3 tower. They are still fighting into high ground and an Aegis on Young God, so it doesn't seem like they want to go any further. They'll wait out the Aegis expiry perhaps and just keep farming. I mean, Jacroy, he's already queued up the Daedalus. You may as well just have the crit available to you at any time with the Enchant Totem. You know? Just one-hit people.
Yeah. Pretty much the game plan for Jacroy. I am very disappointed to see that we are just never going to see Bloodseeker Ags in any form. Mike, I'm just going to go back to that. I would love to see that Blood Mist. It's not coming out. And
it's not good,
I'm just sad.
I've
tried it. I've actually tried. Okay, I've tried Bloodseeker Safe Lane Radiance Rush into Ags. It's absolutely terrible. You will go Radiance BKB Ags. If you can farm. That's the issue with this hero right now, if you do go that route. But on paper it works. You know, I got some kills on high ground. I died as well, but I got a couple kills, Mike. It works sometimes. It's just garbage. But I need to know for certain, Mike, if it's not just me, if it truly is trash.
I'd say the fact that they aren't building or picking Bloodseeker most of the time kind of answers that question for you, John. But I guess we can keep pretending it's just because everyone forgot about this hero, if you really want. Young God. Oh, this could be a very dangerous position. Young God, very far forward. Because he does have the Aegis and he does have Febby right behind him, so confident enough to move up for the D-Ward. Relocate. It's for the mid lane, but Delol's jumped in. Oh, that is terrible timing. They even popped Exorcism here. Febby, he's going to have to come back sometime. It's just too messy. It's way too messy.
And that's been a consistent issue, honestly, for both sides in this series. A lot of very weird skirmishes. Of course, this time around, the Apes are coming out on top. Their movement has been a little bit cleaner than TNC's. They've been taking advantage, but they need to start thinking about the high ground. Now, Aegis will expire in about a minute. That could be the opening for the Apes. They could also just wait for next Roche. and, you know, just kind of get that security going their way. I believe they do have enough gold here for Jacroy's Daedalus. So you've got the big hits from your Morphling ready to go.
Look
Your
at the lol.
CK is super tanky. Like, he's got the heart. The lul's at 4.3k HP with the armlet off at around 4.7, I think, with the armlet on. I mean, 4.9 apparently. How do you stop the CK? I don't know. I don't think you have enough damage at this point, Mike. Your gyrocopter is kind of kitted out for prolonged fights, not for any of those big crits. Just doesn't have that burst damage on hand to deal with his heroes right now.
It's about time for that Divine Rapier to come out, I think, for Young God. And even then, I'm not confident he can deal with the CK anymore. Like, 300 damage is nice, but, you know, the lol's got almost 5,000 HP. There's that Daedalus up as well. Perfect timing as the Aegis does just expire on Young God. So if you're Apes, you're looking to move in right now. Great time to do so. All lanes are pushed out their way as well. They'll control the area around that Radiant high ground. As soon as somebody shows, they are practically as good as dead. But Apes, they might have to be the ones to try and force high ground, which shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, they've got a lot of tools for that. They just need to find a couple of kills, and that cleans up. That opens up the opportunity for them to start sieging. Again, they are playing a little bit cautiously. They are holding on to that jungle area. They do have the ninja gear on Mom, guys. They could try sneaking up here.
Yeah, jump in. That's a great shackles out, catching 2 targets, and they've got Young God down. He does have buyback though. That's the good news for TNC. He may have to commit it, which is the bad news.
Yeah, they also used the cheese. Febby popped it. He wasn't tethered anymore, and that was after Young God died. So the cheese also doesn't amount to much, and that's a lot of resources the Apes have taken away. And forced to buy back and start thinking about high ground here.
Stuns out onto the Morphling. If they could somehow find Jacroy, it'd be a great start to the defense. But they're just happy with Young God buying back here. That's going to be enough for everyone else to just back off. The UK may be caught in Delol. He's not looking too good either. But it'll be KB. He'll TP out. They can't really do any damage to him. He's fine. So they'll walk away with a 20k net worth advantage now for the Apes. The patience and conservatism has paid off. They might find LYM, but it's a whatever kill at this rate. LYM? He's gonna get Yule's up. That would have been disgusting had he got the TP off.
This would be easy.
It would have been very discouraging for TNC if somehow they missed out on a kill on that Broom Stroke. Not the biggest skill to find, as mentioned. Yes, you said, Mike, it's really not much. It's a no big deal kind of kill, but they do at least find some punishment. The side of Apes now. I mean, they forced buybacks. They managed to force out Exo. There is a refresh orb or a refresh shard on Bach, so he's still good to go with another Exo. TNC needs to make this buyback work. There's some pressure for them to find a kill, find a pick off, open up the map, maybe secure Roshan with this buyback. 27 seconds or roundabouts for the Roche timer to show up. They need to have a good position. They dropped some good wards. They are taking the outpost back. If they can get the next Roche, TNC, they can firmly stay safe in this game. They've still got secondary lives to play with, and they've got a lot more to go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Big group up top lane, TNC. Maybe trying to move in here and find the Morphling. Jacroy is pretty far forward, but they might still have a chance to be able to somehow catch this guy. Mind you, he does have Lincoln's up. BKB's available, and so is a TP. Carlo is going to move in. That's a great Fisher. He landed right on target, but Jacroy, he'll go for a BKB TP up. There's nothing you can do about it. They don't have a bash yet either on Yoer, so they can't even hope to bash him through the BKB.
Yeah, no way of stopping that. There is a DD down here as well, Mike, by the rune spot. As the Apes go for a smoke. Jacroy, he's going to find that. And now you have to deal with DD morph into Shaker form. Don't know how you stop that.
Oh, here we go. Water Boy's back, John. Bok. He's going to try and just disappear right now. They are going to move in. Bok for now is fine. Jacroy, he's looking for that Earthshaker. He still has not shown himself. Carlo is holding back, not giving the opening here. So they are going to buy back on Bok. and try to move in on the Morphling. There's your fish around. Carlo locking down two of them. But who are we really jumping on? It's such a messy engagement as now we move in on the Pango. Yoe, he's going to try and fight back. They've got the Ink Sword going. Jacroy, he's got the Earthshaker. More brothers. Carlo is just going to get deleted. Onto Febby they go. They might have the Io. They might have Yoe. He's just pouncing around, but maybe he's gone too far. Apes, they're going to try and run back. In fact, never mind. It's on a Bok. Bok, he's gone too far this time around. Mamang Dai picking up the kills. They move in for more now. Yoe. Soul Mine's going to be decent from LYM, but there's no follow-up to it. Jacroy still trying to chase down. Mamang Dai doing the exact same as Febby. And Young God just trying to get away, but Mamang Dai, he might find an angle here with that blink up. They do pop the inhibit, and Carlo's going to be there with the Fisher. Holding them back as Mamang Dai now is the one in trouble. He will run away as they've got the rift into the stun, and he's gone. That's your Gyrocopter without buyback available. And Febby's going to drop to boot, it seems. The Ghost Scepter will only last so long. Jacroy morphing into the Io now, of all things.
Okay, this looks pretty tough for TNC to hold. No buybacks. Do mention clean up in the back though, but Yoe?
Yeah, I mean, they've lost Carlo, and now they're probably just losing Yoe. He's going to try to run, but it's not looking good, and neither is TNC right now, as they will Rolling Thunder, but it means nothing. Onto the tier 4 towers it is. That's the last two buybacks available for TNC. It's an Io and Pango against the world. Shadow Amulet's being dropped. Who was that?
Trying to check. I don't quite see. I'm pretty blind, but they're feeling it, Apes. They do manage to find a pretty big window.
I'm pretty sure it was Delal John who dropped the Shadow Amulets. He's just standing there taunting them. There's your soul bind down. They just can't escape. TNC are probably losing this best of 3 series, and there's your GG call out. The Apes, they managed to get a 2-1 victory over TNC Predator as more Shadow Amulets are just being dropped. Why the hell not?
Oh my god. Amar the Puchek is what the LOL says, imitating, of course, ATF. And the Apes, out of nowhere, deliver a really strong performance. Now, this team has taken a couple of games off in some of the series. This is their first series win. And this kind of shakes up the bottom 4 almost of Div 2. This is a scary spot for all the teams. TNC 1-5, Apes 1-5, UDV 1-5. Motivate Trust with 2 more series to play could break that tiebreaker up. But it's starting to really collapse in on Div 2, Mike. It's a fight for their lives now, and the Apes do stay alive. We mentioned it. A win here could mean that they still stay in Div 2 if the cards fall right. And it's looking like that opportunity could present itself here, Mike.
It's getting kind of crazy how many tiebreakers we could have going on throughout both divisions right now. So, yeah, I mean, that was an unexpected victory to come out here for the Apes Esports, but they certainly want to remain in the DPC, and well, now if you're TNC, you certainly aren't looking too flash hot anymore. So I believe there's a 3-way tie going on right now. TNC, UDV, and Apes, all the same scoreline. And like you just mentioned, Motivate Trust, they're above them right now, but they're not even safe either. If they lose their next 2 series, God only knows what's going to happen. I believe as well, we do have an interview currently trying to be sorted out. Not exactly sure who we're getting, but we're trying to get somebody.
Yeah, we should be having the lull himself, Mr. Shadow Amulet Dropper. Should be showing up soon, so we'll get some insights as to how the team's going. I mean, it's a win for the Apes. They should be celebrating, but let's face it. You mentioned it earlier there, Mike. Those were very scrappy games. You know, they were definitely not the cleanest games of Dota. Very back and forth. I think, especially in game 1, we saw an opportunity for the Apes to kind of go faster if they wanted to. They miss out on that. Game 2, same thing happens. And I do believe we have the lull ready. So if we drag him in, we can start asking him the big stuff.
Well, hello, Delal. Congratulations on your victory, sir. How you feeling right now?
Thank you. I'm feeling so good. It's our first win.
It certainly is. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I mean, it's been a long time. You guys have had a really long Division 2 is what I wanted to say. A very tough one at that. What changed up today? Like, how did you get your first win? What was the game plan?
The game plan is Yeah, we focus on chicken grim. That's it. Only that,
Mm.
and it's worked.
So just that
Even
combo alone was enough for you guys.
yeah, just one combo, like chicken grim or something. That's it.
All right. Well, there you go. Against TNC, that was I'm guessing, the specific game plan. But were you guys confident going into this best of 3 series against TNC Predator?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. There you go. Go on, John.
I'm curious, before diving into the deeper Dota stuff, but what the heck is Pusek? Puchek? Can I even say that? Is that a thing I can actually say on broadcast? Could you enlighten me, Dalal? That's not a word I'm familiar with. If you
It
could say.
Amar the pucak.
Puchak.
Yeah,
Puchak,
pucak.
okay. It kind of sounds like a Filipino word too. I do appreciate that. Now, talk to me about that end game. Yeah, you were dropping shadow amulets. With Amar, we know what he means by dropping the mantles of intelligence. What are you trying to say with the amulets there? You telling them to disappear? What is it?
I told them to AFK, just AFK.
All right, fair enough. And Tour 2 has been rough. This is a new team. You guys have a lot of young players overall. How have you found Tour 2 so far? You finally found your win. There's a chance for you to stay in this division. How's the team holding up? How are you guys gonna maybe celebrate? Are you guys like over the moon over this? Like what comes after this now?
Our plan, if you winning this, we going to play badminton together.
Very nice.
All right. Love to hear. Make sure you beat UK. He's a good friend. I want him to lose. Beat him down for me. Get that done. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I believe your next matchup, Delol, you're going to be up against Motivate Trust. Talk to me about it. I mean, you guys need the win to be able to stay in Div 2. What are the chances? I'm not going to say confident, because you're going to say, of course I'm confident, but what are the chances you guys are able to pull off the victory against Motivate Trust?
I don't know. I still think it's 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. I think we'll leave it at that, Delol. Congratulations on your victory once again. It was a fantastic series overall, and best of luck in your next series against Motivate Trust.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a nice man, Delol, joining us there for the winners interview. Of course, a pretty hard best of 3, John, and you kind of already said it. A pretty rough affair, right? It was not a clean game by any means by either side, but obviously, if you're the Apes esport right now, for you, just being able to get that first win under your belt's always going to feel good. And I mean, they're against Motivate Trust for their final series, John. If they can pull that victory out, chances are they are going to stay within Division 2 for 2 or 3, which is going to be great news for them considering how it's gone this tour. And Motivate Trust, I mean, I don't mean to throw them under the bus right now, John, but they have not looked too flash hot.
Yeah, they've still been struggling, ever since the entire roster's been shaken up. It feels like that magic kind of left, and I'm hoping that they get motivated, because it does feel like it's a bit lacking there.